Welcome everybody. Welcome to another segment of Tony's show. Sorry I'm a little late there. I got caught up on a bunch of different things, doing some research, and started putting the show together. And I wasn't really happy with the way the show was developing, so I figured to hold off. I'd rather put out a good show than a shitty one. Anyway, I want to further elaborate on the mask of Zorro. Put on the mask. Put on the mask. You'll be protected. Oh yes, you'll be protected. Put on the mask. Put it on quick. Run to the store. Get the newest and latest, greatest mask. Put it on. Put it on. Yes, get the mask on. Oh shit, you got to protect everybody. You got to protect each other. Wear the mask. Wear the mask. Oh God Almighty, wear the mask. I got a video there for you. Dr. Fauci, that little Italian stallion, demonic serving Babylonian bastard. That one. Nothing against the Italians, mind you. The Italians can't help but it comes out of their culture. Just like the rest of us. None of us can, determine what comes out of our culture. But once in a while, you get a demon that comes out, and that happens to be theirs. Then we get all these emails. He's not one of us. How dare you say that? He's an F-tard. Yeah, we all know that. Anyway, Fauci's on 60 Minutes. And he comes right out and tells you. He's telling you the masks do nothing. They don't even protect against vapor. You know how they tell you, you're releasing droplets of vapor? The media needs to be horsewhipped. The media is the pandemic. Seriously, I think every one of them should be taken out in the back 40 and flogged. Flogged good and hard. Hell, some of them might even like it. But flog them. Flog the piss right out of them. I'm not kidding you. They piss me off so mad. You have no idea how enraged I am about this bullshit. The lies that are being perpetrated. I swear, if I was the executioner, all their heads would have been rolling. All of them. All of them. None of them are telling you the truth. And Fauci's telling you straight out in that whole interview, the only thing that does is creates more shit around your nose and your mouth. That's all it's doing. I was talking to a lab technician, and she says, if you get a fungal infection from those masks and they get into your lungs, you're done. Done. D-O-N-E. Done. And I've been telling you about the gassing out these masks produce when you produce nitrogen, when you breathe. This is nothing but a culling. This is a quiet way of getting you to acquiesce or to agree to their program so they can kill you. Every politician that I can see out there right now needs to be impeached. Every effing one of them. The whole Fauci thing there. He's telling everybody. I had a phone call. Oh, geez, another phone call. Hold on. Okay, we're back. So, yeah, I've been getting phone calls in between the shows, so I have to pause and whatever. Anyway, Dr. Fauci's coming out there and telling everybody that the things don't do nothing. I've been saying that for how long, and other people have been saying that for how long. The masks do nothing. And you know what's interesting about these masks? Now all these governments have decided they're going to cause a culling of the herd. Because they got the herd so frantically panicked at this stage that they are not thinking. Watching television is the number one weapon of mass destruction. If it was up to me, I'd have everybody burn their effing televisions, honest to God. I would have them throw them outside and start a bonfire with these bloody things, because all they are doing is subjecting you to bad programming. And you know what? As long as everybody keeps agreeing with this frickin' network and system and keeps agreeing with it, so yeah, and this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing. Because we're watching, I left off watching, there was this guy on Caribbean fellow was talking about, every time they opened up a section, COVID rose. How the hell would they know that COVID rose? Because in a day they could tell. Bullshit. All bullshit. And he's saying the same thing. He was actually speaking Canadian. I was so surprised. He was very fluent with it too. I said, wow, he's one of us. You gotta start thinking. The boogeyman is going to come and take you away. Look, one day, when God punches out your card and clocks you out, that's the day you will die. Period. I don't care if the black plague, the white plague, the purple plague, the brown plague, the yellow plague, the green plague, whatever frickin' plague they want to release, they release out there, can hit you. If it ain't your time to die, you ain't going nowhere. Okay? God has the final say on who lives and who dies. God has the final judgment on who passes and who doesn't. That's the way it rolls. That's how it rolls. He's the final authority. These bastards are nothing but wannabes. That's all they are. They want to be God. They want to be this. They want to be that. They can't measure up to the dust on his feet. And if you're going to keep believing these dumbasses, I swear you're going to take the whole planet with you. You cannot just follow blindly. The guy who was showing you the shots pointed this out, and I'm going to point it out to you too. Again, I'm just going to reinforce what he said. Every time they want to open up a shopping mall, this is their little candy, this is their little carrot, you're a mule, you're a jackass with blinders on. All you see is what is in front of you. You can't see to the side of you because they got blinders on you. Oh, we got COVID on the left, and we got Black Lives Matter on the right, and we got up above you, we got the mask, and down below you, we got, a political race going on. And then on this side of the mask, we got a prime minister that's wanted for pedophile activity. On this side of the mask, we got the WHO trying to screw the planet. And if you don't go along with them, they kill your leaders. We need to overthrow the WHO. We need to get rid of that effing thing. Period. It's what it is. It's an effing thing. And it's a good thing I'm on radio, because then you would hear the real Canadian come out on that one. That is such a pile of rubbish. It's not even funny. This is incredible that anybody could be this dumbed down. And the next weapon of mass destruction, and I know you'll never get rid of this, is that damn cell phone. That is the atrocity of all atrocities. That is the AI network programming you. And the fears and the anxieties that you're hearing, that boogeyman bullshit going through your head, See, this is what happens when the people walk away from God. I got to tell you, this is what happens. When you walk away from God, then they instead of putting faith into you, they put fear into you. Fear and faith are the same thing. They're two sides of the same coin. One will set you free, one will lock you down. Guess what? We're in lockdown. You know why we're in lockdown? Because the majority of people are in fear. Perhaps, maybe, just an idea and a suggestion, my concept on the whole idea, if faith will set you free, maybe you should get closer to God. Just an idea. Some of you say, I don't believe in God. Well, then you can stay in fear. So you can have your faith in a negative faith if you want to continue believing this bullshit. I don't believe this bullshit. I believe in the living God. That's what I believe in. I don't believe in this horse shit that they're telling us. It's all horse shit. But if this is the carrot they got in front of you, the little carrot, this is the little toy that they're going to amuse you with. We're going to open up a mall. But if you want to go to that mall, you got to wear a mask. Really? Really? Because that mask will kill you in between 2 and 5 years. You're all going to suffer. Somebody wrote me a thing saying, well, why is it doctors and people don't have these cancers? Because doctors and nurses don't wear the same mask day in and day out. They're supposed to. They're not doing it. I just talked to a lab technician, and she says she refuses to wear the mask the way they want her to wear it, because they give you one mask per week now, because they're trying to kill off the staff. So you got to wipe out the staff too, because the staff knows what's going on. They know too much. They are party to the agenda of culling the herd. By testing people and seeing that they are negatively not having COVID, or what they're picking up on the COVID, according to my lab technician friend, she's saying they're picking up what's in the vaccines. These people have all been vaccinated with flu shots and whatever. So all of a sudden they are responding positive because they're picking up the genetic material in the vaccines. The COVID doesn't even exist, for F's sakes. There is no test. And 80% of the testing has been invalid. Even the testing shit that came from China, that they already had COVID in it. But you don't listen to this. No, I'm not talking about to the awake people. So if you're awake, don't take this, don't be offended. This This is for you to give to the people around you that aren't awake. Maybe we can snap them out of this hypnosis, this bullshit that they've been falling into. Maybe we'll get some of them to wake up enough to actually do some research. It's the hope. The way I see it, 80% of the population is already dead. They're dead already. And they're going to wipe out the staff that took part in the planeticide. This is planeticide. This is going across the whole planet. There's been a couple countries that have had the integrity to say no. Italy has said no to the mask. Africa has said no to the mask. Another African president got killed because he said no to the WHO. There needs to be a lobbying against the United Nations. The United Nations is not united. It's a place where governments can now have the excuse going to other countries to commit planicide. Bill Gates would not have the capacity to go into Italy or other parts of Europe if the UN wasn't around. He would not have been able to go to Africa and wipe out those Africans with his wonderful gift that he gave them. He would not have been able to go to India and wipe them out. He would not have been able to go on to China and help them in the deployment of this bioengineered nanotechnology that he did. None of these guys would have access. This whole thing, the whole frickin' thing, has been a means to corrupt the planet. We're not becoming a one-world government because it's to benefit the people of the planet. We're becoming a one-world government, so whoever's at the top has full control and autonomy over the whole planet, and then can dictate policy to everybody on the planet. This is a very dangerous, dangerous precedent, because this has a domino effect. You hit one domino and you take out all the dominoes. When a country has its own diversity, its own culture, its own autonomy, if a neighboring country collapses, that country stands. If they're both connected, if the one country collapses, so does the other one. This whole thing's a bad, bad, bad idea. The idea that you could get together and have a place where you can exchange, debate, and try to resolve issues. What issues have been resolved since the United Nations have been formed? All I have seen with the UN is more wars have broken out since their inception. Africa is being torn to pieces. South America is being torn to pieces. The rest of the world is being torn to pieces through this bioengineered bullshit that they have been propagating through the media. What good has it done? What peace has it resolved? You can't even say that the land of Israel that was given and putting Palestine on each side, it was a good thing either. That was so ludicrously ridiculous what they did there. But it's all part of the plan, all part of the game. But it looks good. It appears good because they sell it on television as good. It's just like these idiotic masks. Well, now you can buy these multicolored masks, and they wear around your face, and they fit so comfortably, and you can breathe, and blah, blah, blah. And they look so good on you. Oh, wear your muzzle. You're just an animal waiting to be slaughtered. The muzzle has its own time-release poison. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Eventually, not only will you deprive your body of oxygen by increasing the carbon content, but you'll release more nitrogen as a result, releasing those chemicals in the mask. Continue. Yes, be the stupid little cow ready to be slaughtered. The sacrificial bulls, the sacrificial animals, the blood of the living. Imagine that, the blood of the living given to the dead. Wow. You know, sacrifice. You're alive, you die, the dead come to life. How great that sounds. Imagine that, eh? Imagine that. The Silly Billy's at it again. He wants you all to drink. He wants babies to drink synthetic or artificial milk. Now, you know, this is what amazes me. The mask serves absolutely no purpose. In my humble opinion, neither does Silly Billy. As far as I'm concerned, he's a useless eater. But I think he eats human flesh Because apparently he seems to really get off on destroying people. Now, artificial milk, what does that entail? Oh, he'll make money on it. You know why he'll make money on it? Because a lot of you will believe in this global bullshit about how we are, we're keeping the earth green. We're keeping it greener. We're reducing our footprint. Let me tell you something about reduction of your footprint, shall I? If we reduce your footprint to zero, the species of man no longer exists. The footprint of mankind has to be on the planet. Unfortunately, the planet's destruction is not being done by man himself. It's being done by men in power, corporations or corporate entities. Let's call them what they are, corporate entities, because they've given the corporations rights like people. How the hell did that happen? Who knows? But that came about 15 years ago. Giving corporations rights just like people. Like, that was a mistake. Because corporations can now wield power through their wealth. And as a result, they now have more say than you do. This is the danger of this. This is the dangers of this, And you have to, and okay, for those of you with the mask, if you don't see it on YouTube because they took it down, don't worry about it. I have a copy. See, I make copies of all these things, and you should too. If you see something that's of importance, you can use several different means to download YouTube. You don't have to use the YouTube download. There's other ones you can use, and start downloading these things, because you know why? They're going to take them down. See, YouTube, Facebook, what's the other one? All these Twitter accounts and all this other bullshit. This is controlled media. This is programming. They are going to program you. They are going to continue programming you, because all they will show you is the one side. I'm hearing now that Joe Biden may actually be able to beat Trump. I find that hard to believe. But the reason why that may happen is because people are not seeing the media, they're not seeing Trump in the media. They're exposing Biden, and they're exposing this Black Lives Matter. This is another total pile of rubbish. Another distraction. Has nothing to do with colored people being important. Not at all. We're all people of color. But again, when they use that term black or white, like I said, you're still on the plantation. You are now a designation. You are not a person. You are a color. And until people wake up on this, that's when you're able to take and have a stand with your rights. Because you call yourself a black man or a white man or a yellow man or a brown man or a what's the other one? Or a red man. You're a color. You're a designation. That's all you are. Just call yourself what you really are. A man and a woman. That's what you are. You're of the species of mankind. That's what you're a species. Not humankind, mankind. Okay, until you can start doing that, you're still on the plantation, and they still got their tether around your neck and your ankles. And soon they're going to have it up your ass. That's how bad they're going to peg you down. This is such horrendous bullshit. Such horrendous bullshit. A distraction. And I'm going to tell you something else about that distraction. See, we are already in the second wave. The second wave isn't coming. I thought it was going to be here probably about fall. It's already on its way. They got everybody distracted with the COVID and the mask and the Black Lives Matter and all this political race and the political destruction of America and all this other horse shit. And then in Canada we got the native shootings going on in New Brunswick, and we got you got to wear a mask now and all this horse shit. This is all bullshit, all of it. This is the distraction. The second wave is on. The second wave is already on. And I've been telling you, and I've been warning you, start stockpiling your food. This is not scaremongering. I'm telling you, you start looking at the grocery store, you start looking around you. Don't just go on the weekend. No. Go on a Tuesday, go on a Wednesday, go on a Thursday when the store should be stocked at the peak. And start looking at the produce section. The produce is getting more and more diminished, and you see more and more shit being spread all over. We're probably into our stocks or inventory right now at this stage. Okay, eventually you're going to see meat get less and less, and the cost of food is going to escalate. And for those of you who are on this charity check that the government gave out, what happens when that stops? What's going to happen when that stops? And you ain't got a job. You think the government's going to be charitable? They gave you that little carrot. Oh, look, the government's giving me money. Oh, I'm excited. Oh. What happens when that stops? What happens when you go into the grocery store and when you saw chicken for $5 a chicken, or in Canada $7 or $8 a chicken, the way whatever it is now $10 and $15 a chicken. What happens when you go buy some ground beef and it was like $2 and $3 a pound? It's now $8 or $9 a pound. What happens when you go into the store and you find milk is, it says $3 for 3-liter bag. Okay, I know in Newfoundland it's a little bit higher, but I'm just giving you a general cost everywhere else, New Brunswick, whatever. What happens when you get $3 a gallon bag becomes $10? What happens? How are you going to afford it? You ain't got no money coming in, and that social allowance that they're giving you if you're single in Ontario, I think it's about $600 or $700. What are you going to do with that? Where are you going to live on that? You're going to have to live as a community in order to pool your resources, in order to live under one room or one bedroom, in order to pay rent and to buy food. And rents are going up everywhere. People that are retiring are going to places that are not as expensive economically, so now they're inflating those areas. And as a result, now we're dealing with this inflation that wouldn't be here otherwise. So what are you going to do? How are you going to manage this? See, this is why I'm telling you, start now while you have the money. Back in the days, in the biblical days, Joseph was captured by sold to an Egyptian as a slave, and the Pharaoh had a dream, and the dream was for 7 years there was this huge abundance, and in 7 years right after there was this huge famine, plague, wiped everything out. So Joseph told the Pharaoh what the dream meant. In the 7 years that you had this abundance, you need to put that away, because the next 7 years you're going to be in famine. So use what you got now so that you can get through the famine. As a result, they put him second in charge next to Pharaoh, and he regulated and delegated the activity. I'm telling you now to do the same thing. I'm telling you now to do the same thing. And for those of you who are still believing in the rapture, let me point something out to you. It's okay, just a little tidbit here. You might have overlooked this. Jesus said, no man know the day or the hour, only the Father. So we don't know when Jesus is really going to come back. And whatever your theology is, pre-trib, mid-trib, after-trib, whatever nonsense you're believing there, my suggestion to you is you get your ass ready. Build that ark. Start being prepared. 5 wise and 5 foolish virgins, that concept, be prepared. If he comes back tomorrow, no big deal, you go home anyway, right? Comes back an hour from now. Came back yesterday, we're gone, we go home. But if he doesn't come back, what are you going to do? I'm not saying he's not going to come back, but if he doesn't come back in the allotted time that you've been told he's coming back. And I mean, how many ministers have I heard in the last 10 years saying Jesus is coming back May 2010? I heard one minister say that. So all the parishioners gave their money to the church. Oh, Jesus is coming. We're leaving. Dumbass. Read what it says. Get ready. Get ready. And for those of you who are not biblically oriented, I'm going to tell you the same thing. Get your ass ready. Start getting prepared. Even if you're not rich, start buying a little extra something. Buy an extra can of canned beets, canned carrots. Buy them. They're not going to be all that nutritional but they'll be at least a carb. They'll have some value. Start buying canned tuna with water, salt, and fish only. Buy some canned corned beef. That one, you're going to need to add garlic and onion powders with it. And vitamin C if you have it. Or Vitamin C powder if you can find it. If you can't find it, then you're going to have to come up with some sources of vitamin C, like maybe a rose hip, or if you can't find rose hip, dry up some, well, I'd have to sit there and figure it out, but green pepper has some vitamin C in it. But things that might have vitamin C in them, you know, but the garlic and the onion should neutralize a lot of things. You might want to add copper and zinc with it as well. Start buying these protein powders. I'm going over this again. I want this to really hit hard. Buy the egg protein. Now has a good egg protein powder. Now that I said this, I probably won't be able to find the bloody thing. But egg protein. Get the whey proteins that only have whey in them and maybe sweetened with stevia or vanilla. Okay, in Canada we have Lean Fit. In the U.S. you're going to have to read the labels because they don't sell it over there that way. And only the vanilla in Canada. I'm going to probably regret saying that one too. I probably won't be able to find it. You can go to Pure Bulk. And I believe they do have a whey, the products that they also sell there that are pure whey. Don't buy the soy, don't buy any other shit. You know, I don't know if they have an egg protein. You might want to check them out. I don't know if they do or not. I got to look at their catalog again. But at least try to get whey and egg protein. Gelatin, collagen, stockpile. At Costco in Canada, it's pretty cheap. Well, it's expensive, but for what you're buying, it's cheap. But you need to start thinking in terms of proteins. Fat, want to buy lard. Tallow. May not be any butter around, but this will always be abundant. If you take the fat of the animal and you heat it up in a slow cooker to release the fat, then you can collect it and store it in a jar. If you do get a chance to buy duck or a goose, save the fat. Put a little BHT into it, or a little rosemary essential oil and sage essential oil. That will preserve it. Okay? Start being prepared. How many of you got kids? Okay, you're going to have to feed them. And you sure as hell don't want them to eat the junk at McDonald's or Burger King or Kentucky, any of those fast food places. I'll go to... See, in Canada, where I'm at, I'm fortunate. I have all this ethnicity and this culture around me. And I'm fortunate to have this. I really do. I'm so grateful to have this aspect. I have a European market where I can go and get food. I got Chaldean markets where I go and get stuff there. You know, we got all kinds. We got Greek. We got Asian. All kinds of stuff here. So when I go to these places, I go to a Chaldean place and they make this ground, what's it called? Kebab. It's a ground kebab, and it's just a hamburger with their spices. It's excellent. So these are places, if you're going to go where they actually cook the food and they actually prepare the food, that's where you want to go if you are going to go out. If they're putting everything in a microwave, then that's not where you want to go eat. Okay? Just letting you know. There are some places you can go out and eat, but in the interim, if you're not stockpiling, getting prepared, then what's going to happen? You know, when you have to ration out food and stuff to get through it. See, because what they're going to do, I'm going to tell you what they're going to do. They're going to open up these shops and they're going to close them again. This is that form of torture. It's the thing I talked about in the last one or two shows. They got the whole torture format there. It's under the thing called a mask. And every time they open and close, they're going to just make people just cave in, you know, more and more fear, the boogeyman. And then you'll kiss their ass in order to go into the grocery store. And then when you get into the grocery store, there ain't going to be nothing there. And if you want to go shopping, want to go to a mall, you're going to have to wear a mask. Because if you don't wear the mask, you may not be able to get what you need. Oh, the boogeyman. And you know what? This will be good. I think if they do all this, I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great. Those who have a brain will survive. Those who don't won't. But those who have a brain will be able to use their hands and their head and their brains and start developing things, even if it's cooking food, even if it's fixing and repairing things, even if it's doing things that will then can be bartered and traded, which I think is going to be amazing. Say some of you are mechanics, right? I have a vehicle, I need my car fixed. You say, Tony, I can fix your car. I say, okay, what do you need? Oh, well, Tony, I got somebody here in my family sick and whatever. Okay, we'll trade. There's got to be any payment from my part to balance off that whatever. Then we will do whatever. You see, this is going to be good in that regard. It's going to bring people back together on so many different fronts. And those snitches, the snitches will have their due given to them. All it's going to take really is one real bad beating on a snitch, and I mean a bad one. And then that being publicized on YouTube, even if they take it down, that will send a message to all the rest of the snitches that if you open your mouth and get caught, this will be you. And I'm not kidding. I'm not advocating this. I'm just saying that is the reality. That is the real reality. People are going to get fed up and tired of all these candy-ass titmouses running around and wasting everybody's time. And you're going to betray your fellow man to a system that has been lying to you. Really, the ass whooping you get would be well deserved. You reap what you sow. That's how it's written. And I'm not, like I said, saying that I would do anything. Not saying I wouldn't either. I'm just saying that things happen. And when people have had enough and have had their fill of this kind of behavior, something sooner or later is going to... And you know what? The police won't save you. And I'll tell you why the police won't save you. Because some other snitch will have called the police on somebody else. And that police protection that you would have had in your neighborhood will not be there because they'll be chasing some wild goose chase somewhere else. And with the government's cutting back on the police force, guess what? Puts everybody in a very precarious position. It's called mutual destruction. You cause a problem, problems will come onto you. And in the end, nobody survives. Or the strong survive. This is the point I'm trying to get here, because this is the chaos effect that they don't let a good bad situation go to waste. And as long as they keep projecting this fear among you and keep projecting it, and you're sitting there in your little cubbyhole and you're calling the police on people for no reason other than the fact they just want to live their lives in peace or go about their business, but you're too scared to do the same thing, so now you're going to report somebody else. Someone is going to get a beating. Someone is going to get a bad beating. That's how that rolls. Okay? I'm giving you an insight of a reality that some of you have never been exposed to. I have lived in that. I can tell you how that works to a T. And I'm letting you know that it's better off to cooperate with each other and live a life of freedom than to try to work against each other, causing chaos. Somebody will face their dues on that one. Again, I'm not saying I'm advocating anything, and I'm repeating this to make sure everybody gets it. I'm not advocating anything. I'm just stating a statement of fact. That's all I'm stating. These rulers, these people, these entities, these cabal, whatever they are, will play you against each other. And you know what they're also doing? They're causing all these diversions, all the bullshit going on. And like I said, one article said the second stage. They actually stated this. I don't remember where I saw it. And so the second wave is already on, and it will be full on by the time the fall gets here. Is my anticipation at this point. The third wave will come. Oh, the third wave is going to come. Your power might go out. You may not have any heat in the winter. Might not have enough food. They're going to keep on telling you the lie over and over and over and over again. Hitler would be proud if he was alive today. because this is out of his game book. Tell people a lie long enough, they will believe it. And guess what? It's 80% have already fallen for the first wave. That didn't take much. I had a friend of mine come in today, her and her husband. They're from Poland, Polish people. I like the Polish people. I like the Baltic people. They're funny. They're like Mediterraneans. They're very straight to the point. They tell it the way it is. They tell you exactly from the heart. They call it right from the heart. I'm good with that. I'm really good with that. They can, I understand that really well. She says to me, how in the F can we see this and they can't? I said, because they've been polarized. They have been so polarized. They've been so conditioned since day one. And now they carry a phone that's constantly programming them. They're constantly being hit with frequencies that's programming them. They couldn't see the forest for the trees if they were standing right in front of it. And if they were standing right in front of something, and this is the truth, I didn't say this to her, but if this is the truth, if you stood outside and you said a car that was red was blue, and you kept saying, no, that's a blue car. You know what? They eventually start seeing that it's blue. Like I said, those of us who are awake need to really stay in tune. Reinforce each other. Because these clods out here today, you do what you can to try to reach them, but if they're that stupid, you know what, then they deserve what's coming to them. That's how I see it. More for us. That's how I look at it. More for us. Somebody say, well, isn't that a little selfish? Yep, it is. But if you're too stupid to go and do some real research, not some Google search. I mean, this is the other thing. Google. Yeah, this is what they got them look. This is the first place they go. No mindset to just type in the URL what you're looking for. F Google. Google doesn't have all the facts. In fact, they keep burying the facts deeper and deeper into the search engine. You bypass it just by typing in the search you're looking for straight under. But they don't do that. No. I still use Yahoo. I don't use Google. That's also been collapsing for a while. I really miss Navigator. God, I miss Navigator. Navigator was a good search engine. But it no longer is around. Probably been swallowed up by Google. Google. Dumbass. Google. Jeez. Unbelievable. So like I said, pay attention. Go to the grocery stores. Notice that the stocks are diminishing. Produce stocks are diminishing. Canned goods are diminishing. And if you notice, the canned goods or the bottled goods, like your beets and stuff, the ones that are diminishing are the ones that people eat the most. Probably the same stuff you're eating, and you might want to start, grabbing stuff. Don't grab pickles, whatever you do, because pickles will have aluminum in them. See, this is the thing you got to look at when you're stockpiling. Any food you're consuming that may have a contaminant in it, up the way, if you don't have the right amount of sulfur or vitamin C or enzymes or other components to help pull that out of your body, it's going to poison you. When they're telling you to buy all the survival food, they'll say, well, at least it's better than eating nothing. You're probably better off fasting. Everybody could probably need to lose a couple pounds here and there. Break down some of this estrogen and cortisol that we've been acquiring all this time. Get it clean. The cleaner your food is, the healthier you stay, and the better your immune system functions. You may find you'll be eating a lot less as well. Common sense needs to prevail. Just because somebody's selling a product, read the labels, read the other ingredients. A buddy of mine was going to buy some powdered egg, and so he sent me the link because he was like, oh, I found some powdered eggs. Oh, great. Let's see what he found. So I looked at the bottom, sodium aluminate put into the frickin' can. I mean, really? We're going to put zeolite into a can? That shit will go into the brain and fry the brain. And it's mixed with a protein that's chelated. It's like I said, you got to really read and understand what they're saying. They'll say, oh, it's only a little bit accumulates. See, this is how they word it. People don't realize that silica doesn't come out. Neither does aluminum. They have to be displaced or collected like a sponge in order to pull that out. So if you don't have enough magnesium and if you don't have enough calcium in the system, you can't push out the aluminum. If you don't have enough sulfur to grab the silica or the aluminum, it doesn't come out either. Start stockpiling Epsom salt. You can consume that, and that's a gentle detox that will pull out a lot of this kind of stuff and remove small amounts of radiation. Start stockpiling borax. There's some idiot in Australia, some woman saying how borax was dangerous because she read some medical thing and she didn't read that correctly either, because you would need to take 15 grams at a time before it becomes toxic. Who takes that much at a time? Like I said, this is the thing about listening to these goofy gurus. Validate what they're saying. I looked at the LD50 on borax, so what the hell? This thing's table salt was more toxic than this stuff. Always, and start stockpiling sea salt. You're going to need that chloride in it to keep your body from getting infected. See, these are things you have to think about, because if they're no longer on the shelf and you need those things in order to sustain your health, guess what? You're SOL in those times. Now you have to barter or find somebody who's willing to part with that material. Get the pickling salt if you want to too. That's got a high concentration of chloride in it. Okay, like I said, be prepared. If you have to even have a means of defense, be prepared. I wouldn't go advocating what I got as a measure of defense, but have one. I don't care what you do. Be prepared. Initially, it'll be the people that'll be coming from the outside trying to rob those in different areas. Like your Antifas and these people that believe in this bullshit. These militant groups are rising out of nowhere, coming from the UN or from Soros or from Gates or from whoever. Zionists, Jesuits, Rothschilds, whoever. They'll come into the small villages and towns. After they wipe out the big cities or the villages or the cities that are fair size, they're going to go into the villages, into the rural areas. My perspective on that one is, surprise, boom. That's my perspective. There was a sheriff from Polk County, and he told his people in his community, defend your property. And he meant it. I think you better have that mindset as well. And I think as a community, you need to get together. Now, there are people out in the rural areas and the communities that are snitches. Let them face the wrath alone. Maybe after they get an ass whooping, they'll wake up. I don't know. Maybe. They ain't dead. The fairy tale and the myths are going on right now are diversions. Second wave is already on. I'm telling you that. Get ready. Get prepared. Don't F around. Don't waste time. Get ready. So if you don't have any money, again, start growing your stuff. Go find some potatoes. Put them in the ground. Cover them up. Put some kind of covering. Grow them indoors. Put them in pots. Build a wooden crate. Put the potatoes in there. Put some onions in another one. Put some garlic in another one. Grow these things. Indoors if you have to. You got a garage? Turn your garage into an indoor garden. If you need to get lights, get tungsten lights, get halogen lights, get whatever grow lights. Try to avoid the LEDs. Those things are not that good. They emit a blue beam. Start thinking, if you ain't got money, God gave you a brain. Okay, use it. Apply it. Okay, grow these things. Build. There's hydroponics you can build, aquaponics you can build if you got the money. If you don't, a simple little setup like I just said. Build a box, a crate, put a garbage bag on the bottom, put dirt on the inside, put your potatoes and water them. You can have you can build what I call a funnel system, which is a real good system. What it is basically is you get a tube, you drill holes in the tube, you seal off one end, put it on the bottom, cover it with dirt or whatever, and what you do at the top, you pour water down the tube. And what it does is it slowly through the holes in the tube, it slowly seeps into the bottom part of the soil. So you might do that once a week. If you want to add a vitamin or mineral nutrient in there, you can do that as well. If you want to add yogurt to it, you can do that as well, because that's your bacteria. And away you go. I would be growing cannabis and tobacco. Those are barterable. Someone says, well, what about the law? Well, what about it? Are you going to tell the world what you're doing? Again, this is where discretion comes in. Be wise as a serpent, innocent as a dove. Some people might object to the use of the scripture, but this is where it applies. See, you won't know what's going on unless you've been through a rough time, unless you've been through some sort of overthrow, unless you've been through a dominance of a alien government in your country, unless you've been in a ghetto where you've had tanks coming down your neighborhood. Until you see stuff like this, you take for granted that these things that you have today are always going to be around. Got news for you. If you've grown up poor, you know what I'm talking about. If you grew up in a middle class environment and you've been subjected to being programmed and obedient, you don't get it. You won't get it. Until the system takes everything away from you. Then you'll get it. Because now we're going to be socialized. And a socialistic system means there is no wealth. There is no comfort. Everybody's the same. You're all broke. You're all starving. And you all are begging the government to do something. And every time you beg the government for help, I'm going to tell you another little tidbit about the government. The government doesn't give money out away for free. Never did, never will, ever. And anytime you ask help from the government, you lose something. You lose your virginity. You lose your innocence. You lose your property. You lose your wealth. You lose your autonomy. You lose your freedom. Anytime you ask them to step in to help you, you lose. They will control every part of your life. They'll control whether you can fart out of the right side or the left side of your ass. They'll tell you when you can take a piss. They'll tell you when you can take a dump. They'll tell you when you can eat. They'll tell you when you can sleep. They'll tell you when you can breathe. They'll tell you when you cannot breathe. That's what you're asking for when you ask help by the government. Don't volunteer for them, but don't ask them for help either. That's a reality check. And until you get to that reality check, you keep asking help from the government, they're going to keep on. The penetration in your anal cavity will be so deep, they will be moving your lips. That's how deep they'll be inside you. They'll control every aspect of your life, even what to say and when to say it. And that may have sounded really crude. I don't care. As long as you get that pictorial in your head, that if they are involved with you in any way, shape, or form, they own you. And you will lose, lose, lose. That's how it rolls. In Ontario, we have the socialized medicine, just to give you an idea. So now we can go to a doctor. Hey, we don't have to pay. But now when you go to the grocery store, you're paying out of your arsehole. When you go to the clothing store, you're paying out of your arsehole. Because they have jacked up everything to cover that socialized medicine. Now, when you go to a doctor in Ontario, most of these doctors are not quantified to tie their shoe with Velcro. And yet, you are still paying through the arsehole every time you go shopping. That's what I'm saying. The government gave us socialized medicine so they could propagate their medications so they can kill people and keep people tethered to the government. If you're not on any medications, oh, God forbid, what's wrong? How come you're not tethered to us? We need you to be tethered. You've got to get a vaccine. You've got to take a pill. You've got to be prescribed. Oh, my gosh. Geez. What do you mean you're free? Oh. That's what it means when you have government getting in your life. And when you think that the government is your mom and dad, really? Mom and dads are there to help you develop and grow. But once you reach a certain age, you're supposed to be able to step out on your own and take care of yourself. Okay? If you're still allowing the government to take care of you, they will. They'll make sure you won't own a damn thing all your life. And all you'll be doing is working as a subservient slave, job to job, wage to wage, being broke and broker as time goes on. Welcome to that idea. And if you think the government is doing such a wonderful job taking care of people, why don't you go talk to the natives in Canada? And you can see how the natives in Canada are so well taken care of. Addicted to drugs, violence, and all kinds of criminal activity, and then being subjected to by being closed down and enclosed in their own environment. So we don't even know what's going on in those reservations anymore. Yeah, go ahead and ask them. Go ahead, talk to some of them, if they'll talk to you. Because some of them are really, really, really afraid to open their mouths about what's going on. But the government doesn't give a shit about them either. They can't wait for them to die so they can take over all their land. And they can't wait for you to die either so they can take over all your wealth in the banks, which, by the way, is the big thing that they're eroding. They're eroding it. I'll tell you a true story that happened to me. I don't know if I told it on the last show. I forgot now because, again, in my head I'm so spun sometimes with so many things. I go to the bank and we got to line up. So I'm inside and I'm talking about the mask. Now the masks are just, some gal says, well, she wanted her to wear the mask and so she respected her rights. I said, well, what about your rights? You don't want to wear a mask, why are you wearing a mask? So I said, the masks don't do anything, don't stop anything. She couldn't get the fact that the masks don't do anything. I was even willing to give her literature on it. She wanted, oh, no. And then I said to her, the bank's got everybody lined up around the frickin' building. I said, why don't they have all the tills filled? All social distancing. Each till was 3 meters away. That's 9 feet. That's more than enough space between, the tellers. I said, we're going to have people standing outside in this frickin' heat or the frickin' cold. I said, have more tellers. So why don't you do online banking? I said, online banking. I said, online banking isn't that secure. I said, your lines are secure, but the home lines aren't secure. So I've been into networking. The home lines are not that secure. And she then tried to reiterate the online banking. I thought, how effing stupid. If everybody does online banking, these people don't have a job. She did not correlate that. She thought if everybody did online banking, she'd be okay. Really? This is what I mean. This is a millennial. This is the 1 in the 80% that ain't going to be around. They ain't got enough brains in their head to even slip her shoes on, much less time with Velcro. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I said, look, if I wanted online banking, I wouldn't come here. Again, this is the F-tardedness that I'm seeing. Oh man, I'm telling you, my Mediterranean side was ready to come out, but I thought, nah, and then I realized this is how stupid she was. Stupid. She was probably worried about her job and everything else, wondering if somebody was watching her, and I get that. But seriously, then she tells me that the teller issue with the, this was what they were told to do. I said, well, who told you to do this? She says, higher up. The bank, see, this is what I mean. This is all about control. Taking away another privilege. To go to a bank, talk to a teller. You could see this as I told her. I said, what happens if I have a problem and your AI system can't take care of it? Then what do? Oh, now you lose that money because your little tidbit robot couldn't fix it? All of a sudden the money's lost in limbo? This is what they're counting on. Everyone going into this automated banking bullshit, so then if something happens and you can't get it fixed through because you're dealing with a robot or an AI and there's nobody there to take care of it. I've been trying to buy Bitcoin called Ripple. I went to about 8 different sites. I cannot believe how effing difficult it is to buy this stock. The rigmarole and the bullshit you got to put up with, because it's all being done through an AI network. And I'm thinking, really? So it makes you wonder if they if the money's even getting to them, and if the money's not taken off in limbo. It's such horseshit to what you got to do today. They're trying to force everybody to go and do everything online. Because like I said, if something is lost, then guess what? It's gone. You'll never see it again. I went to order something, and this AI thing pops up. So I ask it a question, so it throws me all these links on there. So I wrote back to this thing. If I asked this question. I didn't ask for all this other, and I wrote very strong Mediterranean Canadian. I was really very adamant with this machine. I hate machines. God, you have no idea how I hate these frickin' machines, what they've done. So finally, after I let loose with it, it says, I'll get you an attendant. Right away, I was talking to a person. Imagine that. You know. Yeah, I can tell when you're not too happy with them. You know. But this is what they want to do. And I'm telling you, every one of you who keeps subjecting yourself to online banking is one day going to kill the banking system. And then what happens if you ever do lose your money, you may not get it back. I will laugh in that day. I will really, really laugh. So like I said, I'm seeing the difficulty with this online banking and how fraudulent this is going to be. But this is where they want you. So this is where they can steal your money little at a time. And before you know it, you'll accept that this is a part of the banking network online, that you're going to lose money. You'll accept it, just like you accepted all this other bullshit. Some of you accepted the vaccine. Oh, vaccine, I don't know. What do I do? You have this bullshit because you don't read. And you don't have the eye to observe. This is where we're at. Second wave is on. They're going to take away your money. They're going to take away your access to your money, and then they're going to make sure you lose your money. Because you ain't going to have nobody to talk to in order to fix the problem. And if they do have a person there to fix the problem, it'll be one person. You'll be forever trying to get a hold of them. The banks they suck. They suck, and I would suggest strongly start withdrawing your money out of the bank. You know, put it in other things. The best thing you could do, because again, if we slowly erode the banking system, guess what they'll do? Then they'll start kissing your ass again, like they should. Oh wait, we'll offer you a service. Oh wait, we'll do. They will be more than glad to bend over backwards for you at that point. As long as they got your money, they got control. Just a concept. Near the end of the show, so I'm going to leave you with this. Read the Gospels. Start reading what Jesus had to say. I'm just going to keep pointing in that direction. Because we're in those times that he talked about and other times. And I'm also going to tell you this, keep your eyes open, observe what's there. Don't walk away from it, face it. Don't hide from it, don't run from it. Don't shove your head up your backside. Look at it. Analyze it. See it for what it is. When you're seeing all these things on the media, again, observe it. See it. Don't run from it. Face it. Because if you don't, then whatever happens, you deserve it. That's simple. That's simple. Whatever comes down the pipe, it will fall on your head. Because the rest of us who are seeing it and doing things, we do not want to be tethered to the abyss. We do not want to be tethered to Moloch. We do not want to be tethered to Baal. That's who you're tethered to now. This is what I'm telling you, read the Gospels. This way the tethers can be broken. All right, and on that note, go check. The information will be on the site as well, and as well, I will encourage you support the people on the site. Yanni, Sherry at Three Churches or Three Hearts Church, Brian, myself, any way you can. Got no money? That's fine. Just share the data. Share the data. If you can help them, anybody financially, do so as well. But share the data. If you ain't got no money, no big deal. Share the data. All right. All right, to the next segment, to your health. And remember this, by the grace of God, we are still here. Have a good one.